Well, hi everybody. Welcome to the Ask Stuart Hour. This is a special edition of the Ask Stuart Hour. Not only is it special because I have a very, very special guest in the studio with me today. Well, he's actually not here. He's there, but we're here together. But this one is Ask Stuart Hour is not only for our boot campers, everybody who's already in group boot camp, but even if you're not in group boot camp, I open this up to everybody to come and participate here with us. And as I always start off, before I introduce Isaac, my special guest, and our subject matter, I always ask everybody to please go ahead. You know that little question box there? Just type in anything. Just say hello. Let me know that you can see us, that you can hear us, and then we're gonna dig in. We're gonna get going. There's Patty. She's saying hi. There's Consuela. She says hi. There's Kim. She says hello. Deb is saying hello. Paula's saying hello. Everybody, just say hello. Bring it. It's nice to know that you're all tuned in, and there we go. There we go. And that you can hear us. Very, very cool. Let's see. Audrey's in the house. Michael's in the house. Pamela's in the house. Jean Ann, what's up? Amber, Carolyn, LaShawn, Jean, Steve. This is so cool. Oh, Steve, welcome to boot camp. You're new in. All right, everybody, we're going to get rolling here because, as it always happens, as we approach the top of the hour, we run out of time to talk about good stuff. And today I think is going to be a lot of fun because with me here in the Ask Stuart Hour is Isaac Cymrot. Isaac is Vice President at Travel Insured. Isaac, welcome to the first special edition of the Ask Stuart Show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
All right, now, in case there's anybody out there who doesn't know you, has never met you, give us your mantra, your elevator speech. What do you do?
So I personally am the Vice President of Industry Relations. So I work with, stuff like this and all of our consortia partners and any industry events and just kind of go out and talk about why Travel Insured is the best travel insurance company on the market today. In Travel Insured in general, we're just a little bit different than our competition. We compete against two of the largest insurance companies in the world, AIG and Allianz, and we're a privately held, family-owned company here in Glastonbury, Connecticut, and we like to say we do things a little bit differently. And one of the things we do differently is the travel agency distribution is our only distribution. So there's a lot of stuff that I know we're going to go through today, so I won't jump too far into it, but that's kind of the very quick. The quick down and dirty version of who we are and what we do here.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Isaac. And I want everybody to know. And by the way, everybody who's in and on, welcome everybody. More of you are coming in. This is so exciting. If you have questions, and it can be about insurance in general, travel insurance. It could be about travel insurance as it applies to groups. It could be about anything groups, anything business. So this is also the traditional Ask Stuart Hour, so we can talk about your challenges you're having with groups. It could be an opportunity you're having with groups. Bring it. Let us take it on, because Isaac is also a brilliant businessman too, and he's eager to jump in anywhere too. So you've got two. Well, at least one smart guy here. The guy on the other side of the country. He's
Wow.
going in for Massachusetts.
Yeah. I don't. Let's not build up the expectations too high here. It's a little early, but yeah. I mean, if you guys, obviously, I'm happy to answer insurance questions. That's one of the reasons why I'm here. But this is also an opportunity for me just to help you guys with your business. So if there's something in general that we can help you with, throw it out there, and I'll do my best to maybe give you a third opinion.
Good stuff. All right, now while we're asking everyone to, if they have questions, go ahead and type it in. I'm going to take the first question, Isaac, that was emailed in, and I want to thank Jennifer for, and Jennifer's in the house. Welcome, Jennifer, for coming in here. This is the question I have that she has for you, Isaac. I insure my student groups with Travel Insured with your company. Sometimes the travelers participate in soft adventure, optional excursions. For example, horseback riding, glacial trekking, snorkeling. Jen, do they do all those excursions on the same group trip? That would be fascinating. Sorry.
That sounds like a trip I want to go on.
Well, think about it. Snorkeling and glacial trekking and horseback riding in the same trip. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Jen, tell me that's not the same trip. In any case, here's the question. Are they covered if they have an accident? I know Travel Insured used to offer a sports rider for individual policies, but I believe it's no longer available. Isaac, do you want to take that one on?
Sure. So, there's certain things that are covered, out of what you listed, stuff like the horseback riding and the snorkeling, there's definitely coverage for stuff like that. I would need a little bit more information as to how you're defining the trekking. There might be aspects of that aren't covered. So unfortunately, I can't give you a definitive answer right now, but I'm happy to follow up with you afterwards and get some of the specifics and give you that definitive answer. But there are definitely exclusions when it comes to some different extreme sports and stuff like that, hiking, not hiking, like mountain climbing and mountaineering and scuba diving under certain depths and stuff like that. So, they're spelled out pretty clearly in the exclusions section of the certificate of insurance. And again, when it comes to these different things, that's where, our team really comes into play. And you can send us these questions, call us directly. Feel free to come to me directly with these things. I know at the end, we're going to give out my contact information, and my team's contact information. But with respect to a couple of things specifically that you mentioned, the horseback riding and the snorkeling, those should be fine. The trekking, I would need a little bit more information before I could give you a definitive answer on that. So
okay.
Sorry, I can't give you a full answer, but I did reach out to Sue, our group account manager, for some info, and that was kind of what she came back to me with.
And thanks, Isaac. You had told me that Sue came back to you with a whole page of information about that. So
yes.
I guess that's the thing about travel insurance, Isaac, for sure, is that there are some things that are extremely cut and dry, and then there's this big fuzzy zone that it's hard to address in general like this. But by the way, while I was asking Jen if people can go horseback riding, glacial trekking, and snorkeling on the same trip, she said yes, yes, and yes. Sign me up, man. That sounds pretty cool. But Jen also said, so anytime, I'm just reading what she typed in, so anytime they participate in something questionable, we should check the inclusion section.
Yes. Yeah, you can check in a couple different areas. There's each section, trip cancellation, medical, has their own section in the certificate of insurance, and then there's also a general exclusion. So those are the two areas to look at. I know that stuff's written in, what we always hear is insurance language and not English and all that different stuff. But, that's where our team comes into play, and you can come to us and ask specifically, present your example, and we can let you know, yes, it would be covered, or yes, under these circumstances it would be covered, or whatever the situation would be. Okay. So, but those are the two areas to start with in the policy that you could look at for sure.
Jen had one more add-on there. Was with that said, is there any way to add coverage for exclusions? So, is there additional insurance that can be added to cover?
Not on the group program. On some of our retail plans, there's different optional coverage, but not on the group plans, no.
Okay. Francine has just submitted a question. Jen, thank you very much. So I don't want to just think Jen will leave her hanging out there. We're going to give out.
Yeah, and actually one thing, Jen, I will after this, I have your email. I will forward the email from Sue that I received. Okay. That might help with some of that.
Excellent. Beautiful. Francine wants to know if there's a rider for scuba diving.
There is not a specific rider for scuba diving. However, I guess it would depend on exactly what they're doing. Again, it comes down to the depth that they're diving. Mm-hmm. If they're just doing a general excursion on a cruise, or the majority of trips, unless they're avid, experienced scuba divers, you could lean on the side of there would be coverage. If you're dealing with a group or you're dealing with a customer that, they're very experienced and they're doing some deeper dives or they're doing some, more experienced stuff, again, that's a perfect example of call into our team. Let us know exactly what, or even better, have the customer call into the team and let us know exactly what they're doing. Yeah. And we can let them know what's covered and what's not. Okay. But there is some general coverage for scuba diving in the policy.
Okay. Thank you for that. David wants to know, is there a list of specific excursions that are typically covered that's available for agents to see?
No. We don't provide a separate list of that stuff. However, if there's something that you specialize in, that might fit that mold, we're certainly happy to work with you on that.
Okay, cool.
But there's not like just a general list that we provide.
Okay. You know what I want to do, because there's a lot of great questions coming through. I want to take on as many as possible. That's my commitment to everybody who's given up their time to be here. And by the way, welcome to everybody who's here for this special edition of the Ask Stuart Hour. This special edition for two reasons, because I have a guest here with me, Isaac, Vice President, Travel Insured, because I'm not a travel expert. I'm not a travel insurance expert either. So I asked him to come in and we can talk about anything group travel, or we can talk about anything insurance, or we can talk about anything about your travel business. Okay? But this is our focus for today. It's also special because I've invited everybody who's not only in my boot camp. I know we've got a lot of boot campers in right now, but who's not in my boot camp to come and experience what an Ask Stuart coaching circle is like. Isaac, would you do me a favor? Would you give out your email address? Because I appreciate you said you were going to do that, but I want everybody to know that if we can't give you definitive answers, if you have more, not only is Isaac's team ready, but he's ready too. So if you would be good, so kind of give that out, that'd be awesome.
Sure. So I'm actually going to give you two, since we're talking about groups. My email address is IC as in Charlie YMROT at travelinsured.com. And if you have questions specifically about groups, I would recommend going right to our group account manager, Susan Barbanel, and her email address is SBARBANEL at travelinsured.com. Feel free to send anything to me and I can always get it over to her, but if you have a specific group question, she's going to be the one I'm going to go to, so cut out the middleman and go right to her. And feel free to CC me on it as well, because I'd be interested to know what your guys' questions are. Yep. But I would certainly say she is the expert when it comes to groups.
And hey, everybody, if you didn't get that down in time, what I'll do is I'll make sure it comes out to you in the email, because GoToWebinar sends out an email after this is done. I'll quick get them in there so everybody's got them. Whether you need it now or not, you'll have it. Okay, Steve, we're moving down here. Steve wants to know, for trips to places like Israel and Turkey, or for that matter, France these days, does standard travel insurance cover acts of terrorism?
Yes. There is terrorism clause. There's some pieces to the terrorism clause. The most important thing to remember that most of your clients are going to forget is it has to be a city on their itinerary. So you can't focus just on the country. You have to focus on the cities specifically, and where did those terrorist incidents take place, and is your customer traveling specifically to that city? So that's a little bit of confusion that customers have. They want to say, well, I'm going to Israel, and there was just some terrorist incidents there, and I don't want to go. But it's not as simple as saying Israel. You have to focus on the specific destinations, and they have to be on their itinerary. One of the other pieces is it has to be defined as a terrorist incident by the United States State Department. We take that definition out of our hands, and we place that, so if it's defined as a terrorist incident by the State Department, then, there's potential that it could fall under the terrorism clause. So those are two of the key pieces, and there's some time triggers that has to happen within a certain period of time. The incident that they might be concerned about versus when they're traveling. So if it was a year ago, they might not have coverage, but if it was within 30 days, then that's a different story. So those are kind of the pieces that apply to terrorism coverage. But the thing that your clients have to understand, most importantly, is it has to be defined by the State Department, and it also has to be a city on their itinerary. So, if you want to use Charlie Hebdo as an example, what happened in France, if they were only going to Nice and they were never going through Paris, there's potential that they would not have coverage. So, those are the important things to keep in mind.
Okay, that's good stuff. Steve, I hope that helped answer your question. It's funny, Isaac, when we were talking before this started and conversations before, you said you had come, reached out to me and said, Stuart, what's with this group boot camp? We're very interested in group business. We also, you said you also believe that group business is very important for a travel agency community, and insurance should potentially play a big role in that, not only to protect the agent, to protect the customer, but also it's a margin, it's a profit margin, it's a great product to sell, but that there's nothing sexy about travel insurance.
True.
But darn it, there's something very critical, very important.
Yes.
And you had also said something important, that there's a fear around our communicating why it's so important, how it's so important, how it works to the client, to the consumer. And I want to get to that. I want to run through these questions, Isaac, because there's more coming in. I'm getting one from Jean Ann first, so we can understand. If we have time, I'd like you to give us some tips on overcoming that fear, and perhaps when should the agent start having the conversation about insurance? Should it be, as you said, go to Best Buy, you bought a product, and at the cash register, well, for another $5, you get the coverage on the product. Should it be last minute like that, throw it on in the basket, or is it earlier? But we're gonna get to that. So everybody hang in there, because I've got questions for Isaac as well. Thanks, Steve, for that. Jean Ann wants to know if a travel insured covers cancer as a pre-existing condition. Many companies do not, but also do not address this in their description of coverage. Is that something you were able to answer for us?
Sure. So I don't believe we have a specific exclusion for cancer. I've never heard of that, but without having the policy in front of me and being able to double check, I don't want to say that for sure. I believe we treat cancer like any other pre-existing condition, where they would have to meet the specific criteria. But I do know that cancer can be tricky. A lot of it comes down to dealing with the doctors that are involved and stuff like that. So I would say let me follow up on that one afterwards, if that's possible. If anybody that wants to know the cancer answer can send me an email, or Stuart, I don't know the best way to facilitate that, and I can double check the policy language and with our claims department to make sure that I'm giving you guys the right answer. But my understanding is we don't have a specific exclusion for cancer, but it does certainly have to meet the pre-existing condition waiver.
Okay. Thank you for that. And by the way, everybody, I know that I'm skipping ahead here. Some of you, like Steve or Jen, you may be peppering in a question or a comment later on, so I may not get to them right away. So hang in there. I'm trying to rifle through, and if I see there's a follow-up, I'll certainly give the follow-up. And hey, everybody, I know that there's some weird stuff. I don't know if it's with my camera on Isaac's end. That could be an internet feed situation, but hang in there. He's still coming through audio perfect, and the video right now is perfect. So hang in there. We're doing the best we can. Technology, love it and you hate it. Can't live with it. Can't live without it. Okay. Thank you, Jean Ann, for that question. Michael wants to know. Michael, boot camper, Jean Ann, boot camper. It's so awesome to see Jenny's boot camper. Some of you who are in boot camp here in the special edition. Is there any way of knowing the inclusions, exclusions during the quote phase and not just after a certificate is issued?
Yes. So if we provide a lot of different tools for you guys to book, and if you're using our online applications, a lot of this information is available right then and there. so that if you're talking to your customers or they have questions and you want to reference this stuff. But the most important thing that I would remind everybody when it comes to travel insurance licensing and stuff like that is you guys should really be focusing on the what and the why of why it's important for the customer, and kind of steer away from answering specific policy questions and let us handle that. So we provide a lot of resources for you now to do three-way calls, let your customer call into us. I know one of the concerns sometimes from agents is, well, if I send my customer to you, am I going to get credit for the sale? And we do a lot to make sure that that happens, but also we have a program called loyalty commissions, where, like I mentioned earlier, we don't do direct marketing to the consumer. Excuse me. So we put a program in place last year where we actually pay full commission to our agency partners should a customer come to us direct and we know that and we can tag them back to an agency. So once you own that customer in our system, you're going to get commission on a sale no matter what. So,
Awesome.
We want to make sure that you feel confident and comfortable sending that customer to us, because we want to make sure that they're getting their specific questions answered. So I know that's a little bit long-winded. Yes, the immediate answer is, if you're using some of our online application, those tools are readily available for you to reference this information. But I would also say, let us be the ones to talk directly to your customer and answer the questions. And there's a couple different ways that you can do that.
Okay. That's cool. That's great. We got a question here from Pamela. Welcome, Pamela, to the Ask Stuart Hour. What's the maximum per person cost of a trip that you will insure?
On the retail side for individuals, it's $25,000 a person and $100,000 a person and $250,000 per trip or per policy. On the group side, it's a little bit less. We're in the process of making some updates to the program. So what I tell you today is going to change in a few weeks. So I would say keep your eye out for some marketing coming shortly on that. It's not as high as the retail side, but it's going to be much improved from what it is now.
Okay, that's cool. All right, good stuff. We got a question from Michael, another boot camper. Hi, Michael. Please briefly explain, Isaac, the difference between getting group insurance and providing insurance to group members on a one-by-one basis.
Sure. So, for us, we consider a group 10 or more people, and we have a specific program for that. Now, you would offer this program still to them as individuals. You have to offer an opt-in program when it comes to insurance, regardless of the type. You can't do an opt-out, have it included in the price, and then say to the customer, well, if you don't want it, you can choose not to take it. You can't do that. So regardless of whether you're talking about individuals or groups, it always has to be an opt-in. That's number one. But we do have specific plans so that if you have 10 or more people that are traveling on the same itinerary, a group, that our rates are non-age rated, which means everybody in the group is going to get their insurance premium based off the cost of the trip, versus on the retail side where each individual is going to be rated based on their age and their trip cost. So it's a lot of the times it can be more favorable to the group as a whole from a pricing perspective, but also for you as the agent, it makes it a lot easier because you don't have to worry about collecting ages to get a quote. You can just basically say ahead of time, prepare all your marketing and say, okay, well, if I know that I'm doing a cruise group and my inside cabin is $800, that all the inside cabins are going to be X amount of premium if they want to buy insurance. A balcony cabin might be $1,200, and those people are going to be Y amount for insurance. And then some people might want suites, and that price is going to be Z amount for insurance. So that's kind of the difference between group insurance and individual insurance. And I hope that answers the question based on how it was asked.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I know I had a lengthy conversation with Susan, your group specialist too. Really, tremendous education, and that information I'm taking and I'm adding a new module in boot camp about it, because the issue of and I'm not going to get too deep into this, right? Of saying it's included, it's packaged in insurance. There is definitely an issue there. It's a matter of semantics, as she explained to me,
Correct.
where we can't
Correct.
say, "Oh, it's included. I've packaged it in," but a travel agent can say, correct me if I'm wrong, a travel agent can say, "I've purchased insurance for you." But you can't say it's
Yes.
included or packaged in, but you can say, "I've purchased it for you."
Correct. And Sue can definitely provide the details to everybody as to how that operates and how that works. But that's correct. You definitely cannot say that it's included in the price or anything along those lines.
Okay.
If it has to be an opt-in.
Okay. I think we lost Isaac's audio temporarily. Hopefully, it's only temporary. So while we're hoping that comes back, because he's kind of coming in and out, and I know Jean Ann, you made a comment here that the audio went back and forth. But Isaac, keep talking. Let's see when you come back. Hopefully, your audio's back on.
Is that any better?
That's it. You're back. What I want to do now
Okay.
is,
Sorry about that.
yeah, it was just strange, Michael, I hope that answered your question. David had a follow-up to the scuba thing. Let me ask this real quick to you. What I hear is that you can cover different levels of scuba divers, so I can confirm that there is a precedent for a 1, 2, or 3 tank, 1, 2, or 3 tank dive. I mean, that could be how they determine the insurance.
I'm going to have to get. Yeah, and send me that.
Yeah. We lost your audio. I'm going to wait till your audio comes back. David, I have a feeling the answer to your question is going to be a little more complex to answer right now in the moment. But clearly there are different levels, and they should reach out. Let me do this. We're almost at halfway through. I want to, again, before I take Patty's question, Isaac, I just want to take a second here and welcome everybody to the special edition. And if you're not in boot camp, look, we're here for 2 reasons. Number one, we're here because we want to help you be successful in your travel business. We want to help you be successful selling groups. We want to help you be successful selling insurance to your groups and to all of your customers. The second reason why you're here is because if you're not in boot camp, I want you in boot camp. And while this is not an advertising or sponsorship by Isaac, he's not paying any money to be here, he wants you to do more business with him too. What we're doing here is what we want you to do to your customers. Get out there, have a webinar, have a local meeting, speak, give out free information like we're doing today. This is a free webinar where we're trying to give you free complimentary information to help. And whether you join boot camp or not, you're my friend. Whether you do business with Isaac or not, Travel Insured, he's still going to be your friend. You can approach him at any conference or my conference. See what I'm saying? But I just want to tell everybody that tomorrow is a big day for boot camp because I'm doing 3 intro to boot camp webinars. 3, yes. So you can pick a time. So if you have a dentist appointment in the morning, I doubt you're still going to be in the seat at 6 o'clock at night. I sure hope not. If you are still in the dentist's office, that's going to really be painful. In any case, I don't want you to necessarily jump off this page, but I just changed the slide there to see about it. It's tomorrow, 3 different times. Please RSVP for it's an intro to boot camp webinar. I give 30 minutes of really, really, really hardcore, good group information, free. I give you a choice of a free PDF too. If you want to join boot camp, I'm going to give you a hug and welcome you in. If you don't want to join boot camp, I'm going to give you a hug and say, good luck with your groups. I'm here if you need me. Let's always be friends. So let me get back to business here. Patty's a boot camper. Welcome. Here's a question. And I don't know if you're able to answer this, Isaac, but I'm going to ask, do you have to be licensed in your own state, or are you covered if you have a host agency?
If you're selling through the host agency, as long as the host agency has done the licensing that they need to do, you should be okay. If you want to sell independent of the host on your own, then you would need to have your own license in your home state.
Okay, great. That's excellent, Patty. That's a great question. Thank you very much. We've got a question here from Deb. Boot camper, yay! Deb lives in Oregon. Do I have to have a license to sell your insurance in Oregon?
Yes, Oregon still requires a resident license for their resident agencies, yes.
Cool. There you go, Deb. Isaac, I hope you don't mind. We're putting the screws to you here. You have no idea what's coming.
No, these are easy.
Okay, good. All right. Michael had a follow-up to a prior question about a difference in commission. I think Michael's questions before was about one-on-one insurance versus group insurances. Are there commission differences?
There can be. Currently, our plan is net. We're in the process. When I mentioned earlier that we're going to be making some changes, we were going to be changing that over to a gross rate plan that pays a commission. So depending on if you're a member of a consortia or a host agency, or so there may be a difference, there may not. It depends on where your agency is in that world, if you will.
Okay, that sounds good. And by the way, I have some. There's more people interested in more scuba information. This is exciting. This is great because perhaps they never thought of selling it before, or just there was this fear, Isaac, in terms of offering it to a client because we agents don't know how it works. So,
well, believe it or not, we do get a lot. Scuba is a big area for question. There's a lot of uncertainty about that area, and so I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So here's the deal, everybody. I just want to remind you that if you want to go deeper, if you have specific questions, I'm going to make sure that I get you Isaac's personal email address and Susan's personal email address, well, personal at work there, Travel Insured email address, so that you can get these answers. I don't want to leave you hanging here because I got more questions to go through. Also, this session is being recorded. Now, my boot campers know the last time I recorded a session, it didn't work. So I have it being recorded 3 different ways right now. There's no way all 3 ways are going to fail. Not going to happen. So whether you're in boot camp or not, I'm going to make this video recording, or it may just be audio. Let's hope it all works. Available to everybody, to the whole world. So if you miss something, you can come back and see it. If you've got a scoot now, if you've got that dentist appointment, don't worry about it. You can come back and catch it. Or if you're coming in late, you can catch the beginning. And by the way, I will also have a copy of everything you type in. So be nice. But if you have a question that I didn't get to, I'm going to send this to Isaac too, to give him the opportunity if he and the team wanted to reach out and contact you. So, I want to make this work for everybody. You see what I'm saying? All right, here we go. Steve. This is going back to the terrorism thing. I know it's hard to jump around like this, but what if they themselves are injured in an act of terrorism? So what if a customer, so it's one thing about having the insurance before you go to that city, but what if they're injured in an act? Can you take that on?
Yes, there would definitely be coverage, without a specific example or anything like that. But yes, there's definitely coverage in the policy for stuff like that.
Okay. By the way, Jen, somebody asked that they can't see the video. There's got to be a way on your screen to make it larger, to sort of toggle that video so you can see it. If I'm not mistaken, please tell me, everybody, you can see us too. Somebody just type in, yes, we can see you. 2 very, very, very handsome guys right now. Just confirm you can see us, because Jen said she couldn't, but I think there's a way to toggle on your dashboard there, everybody. Let's see here. Jen had a follow-up to the terrorism question as well. So it sounds like the cost of the trip, this trip is insured. What about evacuation if an event takes place while they're on the ground?
Yeah, same thing. There's a couple different pieces of the coverage that could potentially be available to them depending on the specific situation. So yes, that's definitely something that's also, it's not just pre-trip.
Okay, this is great. Francine typed in that she wanted more information about cancer. We had talked about that earlier. I have her email address, Isaac. So I
Okay.
will send that. Jean, Francine, if I can get the names right. Hello. I'm going to connect you with Isaac and his team.
Perfect.
Jen answered that. Let's see. I know the audio's coming back and forth, but it looks like it's been pretty solid for a while now. Deb is very interested in including insurance on scuba diving. So this is awesome because we're going to get you the information, Deb. Everybody who wants the scuba information, make sure you type it into the question box. We'll see it. We'll reference it. We'll get that to you. Patty said thank you. Amber has a question. Isaac, do you provide a booking portal for travel agents selling independently? So I assume travel agents selling independently. I don't know if Amber, are you an independent travel agency, not booking through a host, or are you selling independent insurance one-on-one? Isaac, do you know what she means? How you want to answer that?
Possibly, but I mean, I think I can answer the question anyway. And Amber, again, let us know if we're. Oh.
Amber's an independent agent. Thanks, Amber, for typing in so quick.
So, yeah, we have a couple different ways for you to book policies. The first thing is you have to have an active account with us. So, that would include the licensing aspect in your state, depending on where you are, making sure that you have all that taken care of. Once you have all that taken care of, it takes 5 minutes to get your account set up. And we would get you, once you have a login ID for our website, you can either book policies and quote policies directly through our website, or we have a proprietary booking application, just like most people do at this point, that we call the Travel Insured Agent Portal, TAP for short. It's faster, it's easier, it's a more popular way to book, quote, send email quotes, access a lot of different information, save quotes, all that kind of stuff. So there's a couple different ways for you to book the information, book policies, quote policies once you get set up with us.
Okay. Is it of course, Amber followed up, is it a personalized portal? Can it be personalized so that, I don't know if she means if a consumer can be sent to that site?
So, yeah, is that if you're asking about having like a link on your website, we do that as well. And yes, we allow you to put your agency information and all that stuff on there.
Super
so
cool.
Yes, you can personalize that in that respect.
Awesome, cool. Hey, listen, Jalal, welcome. You're here. Awesome. Jalal's a boot camper. It's so great to see. I know Deb said that she can't see us, but Maureen said she can. But Jalal can, but Consuelo is offering a tip. Now, I love it when we're all sharing best practices here. Consuelo says if you go to the top, all of you, if you can't see us, if you go to the top of the box, above the black and white boot camp slide, there is something that says webcams. Click on that, and they should see us. Consuelo, you're awesome. Thank you for offering that. Really, truly. Let's see. We're going down for some more questions. Let's see here. What do we got here? Oh, remember, this is not a commercial for Travel Insured. It's not a commercial for boot camp, although at the end of the day, we both want your business, of course, but we're trying to be informative here. But Bill Podacek, who's also a good friend, Bill said, just an endorsement of Travel Insured. I have been using them as my insurance supplier for several years, and they act quickly on claims, and I love their commission protection. So, Bill, thank you for sharing that. I'm sure Isaac loves to hear that.
Absolutely, sure. I know Bill. We've known Bill for many years. He's right. He's been a good client of ours for a long time. So thank you very much.
Oh, cool. Maureen, type this in here. Isaac, I have clients that are doing a river cruise, then on their own for 8 days. Then they're going to be on their own. Okay. I recommended adding coverage, but the client felt that all hotels were refundable, so no coverage was needed. So that's what the client said. Is that accurate thinking?
Yeah. The one thing to keep in mind, so from a cost of trip perspective, when they're trying to identify how much to insure, if those cancellation penalties truly are, 6 p.m. day of type thing, then no, I mean, I would still recommend that they do it, but from a pre-ex perspective, they would be considered refundable or, whatever, and they don't have to include them as their consultant, I would certainly recommend that they do for a couple different reasons. But the other piece to that, before I get into what those couple different reasons are, is they would want to make sure that their trip dates include those 8 days. Otherwise, their policy is going to end when they get off the river cruise. So, that's one thing for sure that they want to do, is make sure that the dates cover the entire time that they're away. Now, why do they want to include that cost? Well, for a couple different reasons. Because let's say they're on the river cruise and something happens. And let's say, I'll take an example. I was just on the vacation.com conference, a cruise for 8 days, right? And there was an incident on the ship with one of the passengers, and they had to get off and have gallbladder surgery. Well, they were, that person is no longer going on those 8 days. Well, they're not going to show up to the hotel, and if they can't get in touch with the hotel, et cetera, now they're going to hit cancellation penalties with those hotels or whatever. I mean, I think you guys understand where I'm going with this. Right. And they would want to make sure that if they claim that, they have to insure it up front. So that's just one example of why it would be a good idea for them to insure that cost, even if it is, they're not looking at it as non-refundable.
Yeah, that's cool. I hope that worked for you, Maureen. I hope it did. That's great. Isaac, thank you. And Amber said, great info. Thanks. And Deb said, now I see you. Hi, Deb. Let's see. Deb has a question about commission protection. Oh, she said commission protection, ? Awesome. So she's just saying that's awesome on what you had said earlier. David has a question here. What's the max medical evac policy line item you offer?
Oh, you're going to put me to the test on line items, huh? I believe we're up to $1 million now on our evac. Actually, hold on. If I squeeze out of the screen here for a second, I should be able to grab something that gives me this information.
Okay.
No, wrong piece of info. Yes, $1 million on our Worldwide Trip Protector and our Worldwide Trip Protector Plus plans. It's less on our group plans. And again, with the changes coming, I'm not exactly sure what the new benefits are going to be, but they're not $1 million, but they're certainly high enough.
Okay. You had something before about a commission versus net. Are you currently commission going to net or net going to commission?
Net going to commission on the group side. We are commission on the retail side.
Okay. Okay. Maureen has a follow-up. Deb, thanks for sharing that. David, thanks for asking that. Maureen said that she had covered the dates as I did with the air with the extension. Thanks. So she did. She covered those dates because the air was had the beginning and end dates. Great stuff. And she said, thank you for the information. You bet. Let's see. Jean Ann. Most insurance does not cover cancellation for mental health issues, which is understandable as you don't want to insure panic attacks and other phobias. What happens to people with like autism, where there may be sudden behavioral or mental health issues due to their medical status? It's a great question. Can you take that on?
That is it. I can try. Yes, and that. So mental health in general is probably one of the hardest things for us to deal with when it comes to claims. I don't know how we would handle autism. I would assume my general answer would be, typically anything medically related requires some sort of hospitalization. Not in every case. In some cases, pre-trip, you just need to see a doctor and they need to tell you not to go. So, but I would say if you could reach out to me afterwards, or anybody that's interested specifically in autism, I'm happy to talk to my claims manager and get you the right information, because that's actually surprisingly one area that has never really been brought up to me. So I've never had to deal with it before. So I certainly don't want to give the wrong answer in that arena. But I'm happy to follow up on it for you.
Yeah, Jean-Ann, great question. I know, Jean-Ann, you have a specialty type of client, a specialty. You have a certain niche, and I'm glad you asked that. And I know that what we'll do is we'll make sure that we get this to Isaac and we connect you guys and his team so we can get that information. Jen, I'm sorry that you can't still see us. I don't know, between above the slide, above where it says that slide there, excuse me, there should be something that says webcam. If you see anything that says webcam, just click it, see what happens. Something's going to happen. Let's see, Deb, can we add additional medical evac to a policy?
Medical evac, depending on the program, our medical upgrade would double certain pieces, the medical and the medical evac. Our Worldwide Trip Protector Plus already has the highest limits for everything, so there's no add-ons for that program. But on the Worldwide Trip Protector, actually no, for medical evac, no, just the medical expense benefit. $1 million is the highest that we can go.
Okay.
But I trust me, you'd be hard pressed to get anywhere close to $1 million.
Yeah, got it. David said, sweet, thank you. And then, let's see. Deb wants to know if you offer medical evac insurance only. Interesting. Can that be purchased separately?
No, it's not a product that we offer.
Okay, got it. And Jalal. Hey, Jalal. Jalal's a boot camp. And I know Jalal has a specialty niche as well. He wants to be added to the list because the name of his company is Accessible Travel. So we'll make sure.
Okay.
Jalal, I think that's what you want, right? So that I can connect you with Isaac and his team to get you this information or to follow up on any of these things. I think that's what you meant here. Let's see. Deb says, thank you. Jalal says, sure. That's what he wanted to do. Yep. And Jen still can't see anything. It says webcam. I'm sorry, Jen. I really am. But I'll tell you what. If all goes well and this is recorded the way it should be, you can come back and see how handsome we are. What can I say? Okay, well, everybody is busy typing in more stuff here because we've reached the bottom of the list here. If you've joined us late, I promise you I will get you Isaac's email address, Susan's email address, and Susan is your group specialist dealing because it's a different breed, it's a different animal. And I spoke to her because I had questions of my own because I'm out here saying, things you can package and record because Isaac, package and include because with one of the biggest ways we can be successful selling groups and not have us price shopped is to offer a package. So it's not an off-the-shelf product. It's not just the 7-day cruise. If we sell to a group just the 7-day cruise, let's say, of course they're going to price shop us. And of course there's going to be an agent out there who's going to beat it by $2 and you're going to lose the group. So what you do is you build in the excursions, you build in the extras, the private dinners, the transfers, you build it in, so you're adding a high-value package. Now, my boot campers have heard this ad nauseum already, but if you're just joining us now for the first time, that's a secret to success. And it's not as if you're just offering them a more expensive product. No, you're offering them, now pay attention to this, I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face. You're offering them two things by making a package. Number one, you're reducing stress and risk, okay? Because you're taking care of things in advance. You don't have to wait until I'm going to get there, that's going to be sold out. Number two, you're adding value and convenience. You're adding value because you pre-purchased this stuff. Maybe you're getting a better rate for them because you're buying in bulk for everybody in the whole group. You see what I'm saying? And it's certainly convenient because you don't have to worry about a thing. Now, the travel insurance is different. We can't, and again, talk to Susan about this because I am not an insurance salesperson. And it varies by group, but I just want to reiterate, you can't say insurance is included. You can't say insurance is packaged in. And I'm going to make sure I go back and add this in a boot camp now that I have this information. What you can say is, your travel agent has purchased it for you. Am I good with that, Isaac? Did I sum it up right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Sue will slap us both around if we're wrong. So
I know. Okay. I want to make sure we have time to address that. If everybody wants, because the questions keep coming. I just got another one in about when your suggest because you shared this one. I loved your concept of how to position insurance in, when in the sales process, the positioning time. But I want to get to Gloria. Hi, Gloria. Gloria's an old friend. Would you discuss commission protection in more detail? She's not familiar with it. So can you give us a paragraph on
Sure.
what it is?
Absolutely. So, commission protection is something that I think most insurance companies offer at this point, and it's really your protection. It's the way that it's the way that the travel agency or the individual travel agent can protect your time investment that you put into each client, so that if your client cancels for a covered reason in the policy after making final payment, so those are the two kind of important pieces there. They have to make final payment, and then they have to cancel for a covered reason in the policy so that we're paying them a claim. As long as that happens, and you either lose a commission that was due, so basically you're not paid a commission that was due to you, or you were paid a commission and it was now recalled, you can then claim that commission with us, and it has no bearing on the amount that gets paid back to your customer. The customer never finds out about it. It's a claim that's filed separately by you, the travel partner, with our claims department, saying, my client, Mr. Smith, canceled. He filed a claim. You guys paid him his trip cancellation claim. I was due $500 in commission from the supplier, or I had $500 in commission recalled from the supplier, and then you can claim that with us. So we just need documentation of what the actual commission amount would have been. So it's either the recall statement or a documentation of some kind that identifies what your commission would have been on that sale, and then you can claim that with us. So it's a nice way for you to protect the time that you put into these bookings, and it's also our little carrot to you guys to sell our policy versus selling insurance to the tour supplier. It does both. Most importantly, it covers your time, but it's also a way for us to say, hey, this is yet one more reason why you should sell a third-party insurance policy versus checking that box on the cruise line website or whatever. But That's how it works.
Okay. Gloria, I hope that was helpful. Thank you for explaining that. I just want to come back to Maureen wanted to follow up on, why can't you say it is packaged in? Patty, how can we say it that way about purchasing the insurance for our clients? It makes it sound like we actually bought the policy for them and may cause confusion. How can we fix that statement? So I know this could get a level of deep detail here, but and I know when I spoke to Susan about this, she said it is a matter of semantics. It's a matter of semantics. So, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to take words out of your mouth, but the agent can package it in, but they can't use those words in expressing it and marketing to the client. Can you give us a little more elaboration on that?
Yeah, and I don't want to. I'm trying to think of exactly when and what forced this change. I'm pretty sure part of it has to do with the airline regulations, where you can't. If you remember correctly, back in the day, if you went on an airline website, they would pre-check their insurance. You know how every airline offers their own insurance, and that box would always be checked. Now, the selection of insurance is mandatory, but they don't pre-select one way or another. So I know it has something to do with being tied in with selling airfare and all that kind of stuff, but it's also, clients need to have the option, and so there's a lot of different things that are kind of creating this situation, if you will. It's not just one specific thing that came down. So it's kind of been an evolving thing over the years that's kind of led to this. And yes, it's all semantics, but you have to unfortunately do it the specific way, or
it's the way it is. It's just the way it is. So here's the deal. I know what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a commitment. I spent a lot of time with Susan on the phone understanding this for myself, because I want to put it as a new module in boot camp, so I can really outline it. And I probably will want to get back online with her too. But everybody on the line, look, clearly if you're doing groups and you're here because you either are doing great group business or you're here because and you want it to grow, or you want to get into the group business. The bottom line is you want to do more, you want to do it better, you want to grow. Get the answers. Get in touch with Susan. Or again, I'm going to put this into boot camp because I have 3 pages of notes, and they're going to review it to make sure I've dotted the I's, crossed the T's. But it's a matter of semantics. But it's a great way to obviously group insurance is covered, right? Minimum of 10 guests, and it's something that you should be doing. It's a great thing to do.
Yeah, and we have multiple webinars per week on our group program where Sue goes into detail on this stuff. So either if you can't, if you don't want to wait for our follow-up, you can just go on our website and sign up for one of the webinars and get the info straight from her.
Okay.
So
good deal. Good deal. Let's see. I'm going through. We just got 5 minutes left. Everybody stick around if you can. I'm real grateful that you're here. And remember, if you're not in a group boot camp, if you have no idea what boot camp is, it's a brand new online, completely comprehensive, ridiculously amazing boot camp if you're looking to master the group business. It's that simple. I declare 2015 as the year of the group. I have started a group revolution because I said so. Because I believe that in order to help you remain obsolete proof and not just survive but thrive in this whole new marketplace where there's the internet, where there's the supplier, all going and doing their own business, okay, groups is one way, one ticket for you to thrive, okay? And come to my Intro to Bootcamp webinar tomorrow. Sign up, the URL is down there. Let's see. Thank you for letting me get in that, but I just want you to know why we're here today. And I hope that our current boot campers would attest to what I'm saying. I think they would. Let's see here. Maureen says, my coworker always covers only the deposit at the beginning of the sale. I cover the total package. Your thoughts on this, please. Is that enough information?
Cover the total package.
Total package.
Cover the total package. Yeah.
Done. Barbara, does the commission protection cover us for our markup when we are building a custom group without using a supplier? Great question, Barbara.
Good question. Hold on. I have the guidelines right here. Let me see if I can quickly go through them.
Great question, Barbara. That is outstanding because, again, we were just talking, as I was just telling Isaac and everybody, that the beauty of groups is not selling the off-the-shelf product. It's creating a package. Whether you're doing an FIT product or an FIT group, right, where you're putting all the pieces together so you have multiple little suppliers, you're putting a markup. Let's say you're netting everything down. Maybe they don't pay you commission, right? Maybe you get a net rate and you put your own markup in. That's a beautiful thing. I think we'd all should be doing business like that because I don't believe we should be a commission hostage. We should set our own profitability, but I think Isaac's got an answer for us.
Yeah, I know that we'll cover the markups for the client, obviously, as long as it's part of the insured cost. When you're setting the rate for the premium, that'll be. I'll get a confirmation from Sue as to exactly how that works.
Okay.
So
let's get that. All right, that's great. So we got to make sure we're going to follow up with you, Barbara, on that. All right. Wow, there's still questions coming in. We got 2 minutes left, and I promise you we're going to end at the top of the hour, atomic time, because that's what I respect everybody's time, Isaac's time, everybody's joining us. I'm so grateful, by the way. If I haven't thanked you enough, everybody who's here, giving up your hour to be here with us. I'm having a lot of fun. I hope you guys are. Isaac, I'm so grateful that you're here. Jen said she figured out the camera, the webcam issue that you can't be in full screen mode. So she's fixed it. So if you can't see us, you're in full screen mode. Get out of full screen mode, and you're gonna.
You got a minute left. You got a minute left.
Go. Paula, do last question. Probably. Do all members of the group have to purchase the insurance, or can some opt out? I think I know the answer.
Remember they have to opt in. So yes, it's an individual. Even though you're getting a group rate, it's still an individual choice. So not everybody has to take it, right. Unless you're doing the. Unless you're purchasing it for them, in which case there is no option. Everybody gets it. So if you go that route, it's an inclusive it's an inclusive thing. Again, we're talking semantics here. I have to be careful what words I use, but in general, most people use the optional plan where the clients are opting in, so not everyone has to take it.
Yep. Okay, good deal. Well, guess what? We are out of time. I know somebody just shot a question at the end. We're going to try to get to it after. Listen, everybody, I want to thank you all for being here. Isaac, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I hope you guys were able to take a couple things away. I'm sorry that we weren't able to answer everything specifically right now, but we'll definitely get you a lot of the answers that you guys have asked questions on.